Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in our previous video, we talked about our sources telling us that the former Attorney General, JP Muturi, was supposed to resign yesterday, but he changed his mind at the last minute. So we look at reasons as to why JP Muturi changed his mind, and some of these reasons have been captured by Mutai, who is a political commentator, and in his address to the president is alluded to some of the reasons as to why JP Muturi did not resign, and we look at that. But something has happened today which is very interesting in the political cycles. Someone who was very close to JP Muturi and who was working with him in the same ministry resigned today. So I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, do you think it is by chance? Is it a coincidence, or is it something that was planned? Yeah, so a seasoned public servant, Dr. Petay, has formally resigned. Dr. Petay sent his resignation to the head of public service, which is Mr. Felix Koskei. So Petay hails from Embu as well. He is from the same region as JP Muturi. So he was the head of government delivery services. So in his letter to head of public service, Dr. Mbai has cited unresolved issues that have hindered his ability to effectively carry out his duties. So I want to read the letter, then we'll come back and analyze some of the happenings and correlate them with what happened yesterday, and then look at the reactions of some of the members of parliament and government officials towards JP Muturi's presser, which happened yesterday. So Dr. Mbai has sent an official letter dated 9th January 2025, and it was sent to Mr. Felix Koskei, EGH, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, Executive Office of the President, and it has been stamped received on 13th January 2025, which is today. So from Dr. Mbai, he sent this letter to Koskei saying that he was appointed by the Public Service Commission as the Secretary Investment Promotions effective January 2023 in the office of the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Investments, Trade, Industry, which was headed by Moses Kuria then. He says I also served as the head of Ministerial Delivery Unit. He continues to say that I was later appointed as the head of ministerial programs in the office of the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management effective October 2023. He goes ahead to say that in June 2024, I was appointed as the head of Government Delivery Services to, among other things, oversee the implementation of government programs and projects across ministries, departments, and agencies. In all these positions, I served diligently with utmost commitment and sacrifice, driven solely by the genuine desire to achieve sustainable transformation in the lives of citizens in line with the Kwanza government manifesto. However, despite my passion, focus, and consistency, for reasons and issues that I have consistently brought to your attention and have not been resolved to date, it has not been possible to carry out my duties as intended, and my position as head of Government Delivery Services is no longer tenable. In order to be accountable to the people of Kenya, owing to the fact that the appointment was widely circulated, I therefore request to formally disengage from the appointment so as to pursue other interests. I thank you for the opportunity and trust you bestowed on me to serve the public. Signed, Dr. Petay, PhD. Yeah, dated 9th January 2025. Yeah, so this was like around how many days back? Around 3-4 days back. Then yesterday, JB Muturi came. So this is a guy who was serving in the same ministry with JB Muturi. And if you are to know some of the responsibilities or the duties of the Government Delivery Services Unit, it's a branch within the ministry that JB Muturi was, and some of the key functions of this ministry was tracking and reporting on status of national government priorities, projects, programs, and presidential directives. So this shows you that he was a very senior public servant. And then the second function was problem solving and providing practical interventions on government priorities, projects, programs that are facing challenges and bottlenecks. So you want to ask yourself, was this resignation influenced by JB Muturi's actions? It could be or it could be not, because some people are saying that this guy resigned because somebody like Eliud Owalo was brought into government to take up some of the key roles that he was working on. Because if you look at it, Eliud Owalo is currently the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of performance and delivery management in the Executive Office of the President. So someone would want to talk about him or Eliud Owalo being confined to the presidency only. But some of his roles are overlapping all the way to the functions that this other guy was using. It was like Dr. Mbai was reporting to Eliud Owalo. So if you look at this, some commentators are talking about a ploy by some Mount Kenya civil servants to resign from President Ruto's government so as to solidify what we call as revolt among Mount Kenya electorates against President Ruto. So if we go back to what I was talking about, which was the reasons as to why JB Muturi did not resign. One Mutay Ngunyi, who is a political commentator, has talked about one thing which is very key here. Mutay Ngunyi has talked about JB Muturi wanting the president to fire him. In his tweet, in his X account, Mutay Ngunyi has written that, "Dear Ruto, Justin Muturi wants you to fire him." And I think we talked about this. This will make him a hero in Mount Kenya. And like Gachagua, he is a coward. He will not resign. And if you do not fire him, you are the weak one. My take, that is Mutay Ngunyi's take, he's advising the president to fire, he's called him the bastard, which I don't think he is. Fire the bastard. Then he can fight Gachagua for Mount Kenya supremacy, and that will work for you. So somehow I think Mutay Ngunyi is right. I think JB Muturi might not be interested in being the Mount Kenya kingpin. But for him, if he's fired, he'll play the victim. And then once he plays the victim, he will endear himself to the electorates of Kiambu County. Because JB Muturi's interest is in being the governor of Embu County. And if he's fired, that will give him an edge over the current governor. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mutay Ngunyi could be right that JB Muturi is looking for that sympathy, and if he resigns, he will not get that sympathy. He will not get anything that he can use to whip up the emotions. He knows very well that if he's sacked by the president, then he'll go back to Embu as a hero. And he'll use that to now whip up the emotions of the electorate. And eventually he will win that position, the governorship position. Look at it. Politicians use such kind of tactics so as to win electorates. Take, for example, the current president, who was the former president. He used that kind of tactics by whipping up the emotions, using the victimhood and winning the sympathy of the electorates to get into power. He would meet Kenyans and told Kenyans that he was being persecuted by the then president Uhuru Kenyatta. The same thing is working for Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua then, or even before he was impeached, was not loved so much by the people of Central Kenya. But he's somehow won the hearts of majority of Central Kenyans by playing the victim. So it's the same thing that JB Muturi wants, even though there is sense in what he's saying. There is sense in the fact that Kenyans need to know who is abducting the youths. There is sense in the fact that he wants to know who abducted his son and why. But when you look at it using the political lenses, then you want to draw an analysis whereby JB Muturi wants to be sacked because he's going against the principle of collective responsibility in the cabinet. And for him to come out and address the president in the press goes against this, because the president is someone who he can call, or he can wait for the next cabinet meeting and address some of these issues. So if this happens, then the president will have played to what his expectations are. But whatever Mutai Ngunya has also talked about, if the president does not sack him, then he will be seen as a weak president. Why? You know, for you to be a strong man, you need to use your power wisely and make people whom you have appointed to toe the line. Because if he doesn't sack him, what makes other people in this government not toe the line? So the president is caught between a rock and a hard place. If he sacks JP Muturi, the backlash will be on him. If he doesn't, then it also paints a very bad picture about his leadership. Is he a strong leader? Is he a leader that can be respected by the people that he has appointed to that position? So there are so many people. The other people who are also of the idea that the president, JP Muturi, needs to resign on his own. Someone like Caleb Amisi, who is a member of parliament, I think is stated in his X account that JP Muturi has gone against the principle of collective responsibility and needs to resign. But I don't think JP Muturi will resign. He will wait for that opportunity, even if he's going to resign, but he's not going to resign now. He will rock the boat from within. Then maybe in 2026, jump ship when the opportune time comes for him to jump ship and go out there and campaign for the governorship position. So ladies and gentlemen, everything is becoming more and more interesting as we head into 2027. So if you love our content, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Until next time, bye bye.